Greetings to all you lovely friends out there who are watching our channel. Thank you so much, and we welcome you back for another February home tour. Today I'd like to just show you around the living room, and then we'll end with the front entrance. So just to be different, we'll start out here today. So this is what we had to decorate with February red and pink out here in the living room. I said I wasn't going to put heart boxes probably on the mantle, but because we found a couple more this year, I did have some extra ones, and those are our prettiest pink ones in there. So let's go look at some of the things up close. I hope you're all having a good day, and I am late. It is the day after Valentine's Day, but I was slow this year trying to get winter things put away, so it just took me quite a while to get everything thought out for some pretty February decor. I've had this darling retro because of the little metal footed base on it. Makes it more mid-century modern, a sweet California swan vase or planter. Probably you'd call it a planter. I've had that for, could be 8 years or more than that even. It's hard to keep track of time, but as you know, I've been collecting for a very long time, so I just don't know how long I've had some of these things. This is a very small laminate retro 50s, 60s table that we bought many, many years ago. Probably from my brother. We tend to pay him like $20, $25 for some of these neat little laminate tables. We just love them. We don't have a big living room, so those small pieces of furniture fit very well in our small living room. My swan vase that I have shown you in the winter tour of the living room, I did show that and how we spray painted it white because it was an off-white. I just put some little roses in there. You're gonna see a lot of roses today. I do have a whole bin, believe it or not, for roses. I know that sounds crazy, and when I say a bin, they're not a huge deep tub. These are narrower, I should say flatter bins, about half the size of what you'd consider a big tote. They fit under the beds. So when I say I have a bin full of roses, that's about the size I'm talking about. I just found these at the Goodwill. I did share them on Instagram last week. They are so sweet. I don't think there was any tag on the bottom, but they were like $4.99 each, maybe, or $3.99, but I did get my senior discount, 25%. There is a little paint loss on the left one's beak, but they were so appropriate to find right at the beginning of February. Lucky me. And then I found this too the other day at Goodwill, just a couple weeks ago. It is, I would say that's porcelain or bone china. I wish I knew the difference. I really don't understand the difference in those two terms, but it's very, very white. And there is a little chip off the bottom petal, but that didn't bother me because it was only $1.99 at the Goodwill. I think it's a parakeet. I think it's a budgie parakeet. So that was a really sweet find. I love my birds. You know that. They're all over the house. I'll show you some more. I've had this for decades. It was one of the very first huge wire hanging planters that we found. And I had it up in my pink and orange bedroom upstairs for many years until I found this extremely crazy peacock clock that I put up instead over the chest of drawers instead of this thing. But I did put old plastic pink roses in it when it was up there, and that's all I've ever put in it. I just love them because they're so silly and quaint. But it does say California Pottery on the underside of that. It was gold, and of course I asked Norm to spray paint it black for me. Gold doesn't show up very well on our gold walls. Sorry about the screw showing at the top there. We should paint it someday to match the wall. We had to put a heavy-duty screw for all the things that we've been hanging there. They're so heavy. Don't want them to fall down on my glass tabletop. So there's a retro, bittersweet slag glass vase that my brother gave me many years ago with some pink roses in it. Doesn't look very pink right there, but if you get close, you can see they're quite pink. I love to mix them, pink and orange. I do it out in my garden too. This is a brand new purchase that Norm gave me from the Rogers Antique Mall that we showed in a tour. It is huge, and we got it 15% off in that booth. The gentleman's name is Rick. He has a incredible booth there full of gorgeous glassware, but this thing is really, really, really big, very, very heavy. I've been fascinated with the possibility of owning that someday. I saw one in Red Wing a couple years ago, and it's probably gone by now, but I didn't get it at the time I saw it. Even though I loved it, it was just pretty expensive, but this was very, very, very good price, and it was my birthday present for this month from Norm, so thank you again, Norm. This is all thrifted glass, art glass, pressed glass that I've been collecting for many years. It's funny because every time I try to put these out on this table out here where they do get the best light, I always think it just never looks right. I did put one rose in a couple different bud vases, but they're so pretty, these ones with beautiful patterns. Unfortunately, they're hard to see unless I lifted it up into the window light. And this one is very beautiful pattern on it, and they're just so reasonable. I find a lot of gorgeous red pieces of glass like this that are just way too expensive in antique shops, but once in a while I'll run across them in a thrift store. I'm going to get down here on my knees because I have to do that in order to show you this beautiful little triangular shaped vase. I just found it in a thrift store that was not the Goodwill. It wasn't the Salvation Army. It was just a independently owned thrift store, and it says 40th anniversary on it. Somebody gave that up, and the two pretty doves there, a heart behind the doves. It was 94 cents. I thought that was absolutely crazy. 94 cents. Oops, my elbow was squeaking on top of the table there. I'm trying to rest my elbow. Isn't that odd though? So triangular. It's just really weird shaped. It's probably not meant to have anything in it, because you'd be blocking the pretty picture on it. And I was really surprised a couple years ago to find this heavy glass bottle. I do not know who made it. maybe some of you have seen something like that and you might know. This is probably Fenton again, the common cabbage rose pattern. But all of these, yeah, I just really was happy to find very cheap. I do not want to spend $20 on a piece of red glass. And I am very fortunate up here, and in a lot of the thrift stores, we're very fortunate to find them quite reasonable. This is a very old, I'm not sure if it could have been 70s lamp that I'm going to have Norm come and talk about what he did to this lamp we found and how cheap it was. It was not clean, but he refurbished it for me and painted the bottom black for me instead of wood grain. So it was very countrified, but he made it very modern for me, and I just love it.
Hi everyone. You're looking at the base of a lamp that Peggy and I bought up at a Family Pathways. The base was oak, and when I took the lamp apart, it was very, very dirty. The melt glass was extremely dirty. The brass wasn't the best shape. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was looking. And there's a third section up on top. And then of course you've got the three-way switch up there, which is kind of nice, but these little black inserts, they were brown plastic, so I spray painted them black. And when I had it all apart, of course, I spray painted the base black too. We paid, it was $8.25, and Family Pathways had a 25% discount on this particular label on there, so we got it for $6.19. When I took it up to the checkout, the girl says, "Did you try it?" And I said, I held up the cord because the cord in the back was cut off about 2 feet down. I said there was no way to plug it in, but I'm going to rewire it anyways. So we got it all apart. I bought a new cord for it, rewired it, and then we went over to Target and took the lamp with us because it's too hard to take a lamp and have it and then go over and try to buy a shade for it and see if you can get one that's going to match and look decent on it. It turned out pretty good. So I'm happy with that, and we didn't pay that much for it, so that's the story of our lamp. This is the second lamp I bought that's melt glass, and I've taken it apart and completely rebuilt it.
I'm growing a succulent down there, trying to give it some bright sunlight from our south-facing window. There's another one hanging up too right now, but I just left it down there in that pretty Coronet. Is that the company that made that swan? I forget. But that's one of my favorite swans. Just love the green. So springy, but it's beautiful for most of the year too. This is another birthday gift from Norm. We could not believe it. He found it. He was at the Rogers Antique Mall. It is really limey green, and it's pierced on the bottom there, but it is a vase, solid the rest of the way up, and it is a drip glaze. The top edge is lighter. It is Royal Hager, and it's about 15 inches high. Really, really, really big. I put one huge, soft feeling, beautiful rose that I bought at a Bachman's store, floral store, several years back. It's a beautiful, soft feeling rose. It feels real. But yeah, the Royal Hager sticker is still on the neck of this beautiful swan. It's really, really heavy again, and I am so thrilled. He sent me a photo of it from the antique shop and asked me if I wanted it, and I said, wow, yes, yes, I absolutely love that. I've never seen it before. It was $30. Can you imagine something that huge? Royal Hager, only $30. We were very fortunate, and I am just thrilled to have her. Gorgeous, gorgeous bird. So I still have my new, totally refurbished retro footstool up here for February. When it gets to be spring, I bring up the small, cute, retro, round, hot orange one. Very, very cute one we found many years ago for $5. This was from a great antique shop in downtown Minneapolis. And my thrifted shaggy heart pillow. Up here, I brought out some red plastic soft grapes and put some roses in my Hager horse head. And these you haven't seen yet. Well, yes, I did show them. I have two of these beautiful California swan. They're wall pockets, but I don't typically hang them up. But we'll go look at them. They're so pretty. So I use them for Valentine's Day, but they were upstairs on my bedroom shelving, just for storage mainly. So there's some pretty, pretty pink roses there that are more buds in one of my thrifted planters from last summer. Here's the darling swan wall pocket with some red roses in it. I know I've shown you all of my milk glass. If you're new to my channel and just seeing this milk glass in our living room for the first time, you would be able to see it a lot better in some of my other winter videos. Here is the first of our two, what I'd say, fanciest, frilliest, thrifted, very inexpensive, like $5 to $10. We found these last year at an occasional sale that's only once a month north of us. But this one is just something else with all those beautiful little folds and ruffles. So, so sweet. I believe these are called rose bowls. Very appropriate. I found two of them over quite a few years. So obviously I put roses in them. And just this past fall, I found a bunch of sets, 3 sets of milk glass candle holders. And this is called a Lotus one, and they claimed it was reversible. It does stand very well on the top candle holding part there. If you flip it over, you have a little dish, because it's made very, very nice on the other side, inside. So you could use them for fancy-footed little dishes. The candles are old twist candles, and I did try very hard to put, I have many pairs of vintage Cupid candle huggers, and I tried to put a pair on them, whole towered, and these candle holders, no matter how much I tried with the little soft spongy candle hugger rings, they're like a disc. I've used them whenever I can to keep a candle straight. It kept pushing the candle out. So these candle holders are a little tight. And twice my candle fell over. Once it fell off onto the floor and hit the hearth, and it didn't break. It dented my candle a little bit, but I tried it again, put it back in again, changed the little snuggie thing for it to something thinner, and wouldn't you know, it fell over on the mantle here, and it broke the wing on my Cupid. So I was sad about that. I glued him or her. This is a really incredible, huge, huge, huge ornate glass swung vase. I don't know if there's much of any, like the orange edge or yellow edge on it. Maybe it is slightly, yeah. But you can see it a lot more on the top, that yellow edge. Last year at the same place we found a handful of gorgeous candy heart boxes. This vase was sitting there and it said $25. And I showed it to Norm and I said, I have never seen anything so big and really, really pretty. And he agreed. It was very unusual. So we took it up to the checkout desk and said we'd like this vase. And inside was a couple of pieces of flowers, or maybe they weren't even in there. I think they were gone. But the tag said, without flowers, $20. So we thought, oh my goodness, yeah, that's wonderful. How can that be? I don't know, we just get so lucky. We were very fortunate, so that made Norm smile more. There's the other rose bowl, I believe. It's probably Fenton hobnail. And here's the other very, very fancy folds, satiny one. Everything was so clean on these. They were just beautiful. Heart boxes. We were very fortunate. As a matter of fact, that sale is coming up next Wednesday. It's like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I don't know about Sunday. But anyways, that is what I ended up with there. Oh, I'll go down, look at this. I thrifted this a year or two ago. It is super lightweight blow mold. Just soft plastic, hollow. So I would call that a blow mold. But it was very tarnished, and I think you can see he's even got a dent in his knee. He wasn't in very good shape, I didn't think. The gold was so dark and it looked like it was missing gold. So Norm spray painted it for me, and it's just darling to hang there. So sweet. Very lightweight for storing. So up here, I brought out a pink radio for you to see. I'm holding the phone really high again, so I'm sorry if that makes my voice a little quieter. I'll try to talk louder, but so I just put my pretty bird up there, planter, that I showed in a couple of winter videos so far, and my sweet horse. Love to have him shown off for Halloween, not Halloween, for Valentine's Day. And I just have my red books over there that a lot of you have seen. And again over here, I did find the price somewhere in my notes. I wanted to show you. I just found this at one of the thrift stores. I know it's a well-known. I wonder if that's a Royal Copley too. Yeah, very nice vase in excellent condition, no chips. but a great find at the thrift store just recently. Here's the other swan. Her head is tilted different than the other one. One is tilted out and one is tilted in to make them a little different, I guess. Some more pink roses in another thrifted planter, and I just found this little weeping gold. It's 22 karat gold. Little tiny dish at the thrift store. So cheap. Put some more of my crazy plastic red grapes in there. And my new Hager horsehead vase is over here in this corner. And that was a purchase from Barb of Winking Owl Antiques on Instagram. Very sweet gal that a lot of you know of. I had no idea when I bought it from Barb that she is the Barb who is the friend, good friend, Jeffrey's Real Nifty Vintage YouTube channel. The two of them go thrifting together. Yes, so that was really sweet to find that out. Oh, I found this at a thrift store too quite a few years ago, the smaller statue. And I painted his mane, hoofs, and tail in a metallic gold because I just wanted to make him cuter for me. Yep. Oh, my couch is squeaking, my leather couch. I'm leaning up against it. So I have some other pillows out here. These are metallic, these two big red ones. I thrifted them for a couple dollars each. I couldn't believe it at one of my favorite thrift stores. I ran them through my washer and dryer. They turned out just beautiful. Beautiful. I still have my pretty horses collection up here. This is my favorite Trojan horse. I think he was like $7 in an antique shop. Wow, I just thought he was the greatest. So modern and classy. I really like him. And this is a new find. It's not focusing. There we go. The creamy, he's not white, he's a little off-white. But I got him anyways. He was only $5 to add to this little collection here. And this pink one is so fun. Love him too. He's just crazy, isn't he? And the one on the end, see, is more white. Probably my favorite little collection for in here. Okay, I have to get down on the floor again for this extremely low coffee table. Our 50s coffee table that we got for $100 in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, and we are currently working on editing 2 different videos because it's such a big, wonderful mall. We went there a couple weeks ago, but I've had so many videos to do that I haven't gotten that one out yet, but I show you we're upstairs and was pointing out the spot where this coffee table was sitting when we decided to get it quite a few years back. That is a milk glass heart plate. It's blurry because of it's underneath the glass. I put some square plates that match underneath. And this is a tiny, deep little milk glass dish that I found a couple years ago. Those big, darling balls on the side are so cute. I really like that little one. It's the only one I've ever found. And I just found these little red stands for a cupcake, I assume, at the Goodwill. Let me go get my card so I can read what they cost. They were $2 each at a thrift store that we enjoy, not the Goodwill. I thought I would end up using them for Valentine's Day, but for some reason I didn't find anything out in the kitchen or dining room to put on them that looked good. And when I was setting this up this past week out here in the living room, I thought that would be cute to put the cupids on them. At least I think they're cupids. I found these many years ago at thrift stores, and I always wished I could have found another one. They might have another one that's playing a different instrument, but every time I've run across one, I couldn't remember what mine looked like because it was packed away. Should have had a picture of it on my phone, but that is very, very sweet. Finer ceramic or china, I don't know, porcelain. This one is more of a ceramic typical. It's looks a teeny bit grayer. Not so much in my video here, but you can see it's not quite as white, but that was fun to find last year. Very sweet. And this is something I may have shown up in my bedroom with jewelry in it, in my pink and orange bedroom. I had a lot of milk glass with jewelry in it on my dresser, so I wasn't using it currently, and I thought, well, that is certainly frilly and fun. Roughly, I should say, Fenton again, the hobnail, to put some of my red grape collection. Oh, I should tell you I do have another bin just labeled grapes. I have black and orange and red and green. And I use them for the different times of year. I forgot to show you my sweet swan over here. I'll zoom in on it. I hope it stays focused nicely. This is another lovely big swan planter that I purchased many, many years ago. It was like $6 at an antique store in Menominee, Wisconsin, and I thought that was crazy. I never know what I'm going to do with some of these things when I purchase them, but I'm always happy that I did, because I find somewhere, and that is such a sweet, sweet one. So I like that. Okay, well, let's go look what's on my piano to my left. Norm has always felt bad that I haven't shown you my crazy Clavinova by Yamaha. Very, very fancy digital piano. He just loves to hear me play for him. He'll come in here and lie down on the couch and I start playing some nice relaxing songs for him, and before I know it, he's snoring. I can't believe it. I put him to sleep every time. So then I turn the volume way down, so I'm really quiet playing soft songs and let him catch a nap. This is one of my favorite birds. I have a pair of bright orange ones that match, and I felt bad that I never found another pink one. This was the only one that was probably in an antique store, but I'm very, very happy to at least have this pretty bird. There's just a huge amount of instrument banks, they call it. Each one of those buttons takes you to a choices of hundreds of types of instruments and synthesized sounds and percussion and organ and you name it. It's just unbelievable and so much fun. It does karaoke, and it can change your voice with the karaoke. Probably going out of focus. There we go. And that screen right there, that big lighter screen, will show a score, music score, and you can insert a jump drive. I think that's what Norm called it, little tiny thing right in there, and you can play much more music, upload a lot more music, and it's just amazing how it can make you sound like a real professional. I have so much fun with it. I actually recorded some music that I had wanted to show you. Look at how the red glassware is showing through there. This was a cute book to put out, beautiful love songs to show you. And here's one of the Holt-Howard. I'm going to sit down on the piano bench. Here's one of the Holt-Howard angels in a red, my one and only little short red lucite candle. That's the only one I've ever found. That would be fun to have more. She going out of focus because I suppose it wants to focus on my Pyrex in the background, but thrifted hobnail pieces there too. So let's go out here to the front entrance and I'll show you some more pretty candy boxes. Here is another one of my pretty California birds. It's a lot shorter than that one I just showed you. Well, not a huge amount, but it's a daintier bird. And I actually, up in my bedroom, turquoise bedroom, I have two small ones that match this. And instead, because I only had one of those birds, I decided to put up this thrifted plate to show you that they mixed pink and orange roses. That worked out well. I just happened to run across it digging through the drawers trying to find things for right here. So I thought, oh, look at that. Here is the first very unusual colored, orchid colored heart. In excellent condition. This was one that we found at the occasional sale. When Norm came running up to me with like 4 of them in his hands, I could not believe my eyes. And it's got all that beautiful folded netting and ribbon. So pretty. I just thrifted a couple of votives, not these though, but I did find 2 red votives this past fall for 49 cents each. They were the diamond cut ones, but I've had these for many years with the flowers on them. Happy to have them. More thrifted candle holders from Family Pathways. This one is extremely lacy. Lots of pretty white lace on there. Was another very clean one. A bigger, much bigger red one in back there. Here's some more Holt-Howard. That is a Holt-Howard on the right. These are Lefton, probably. I have 3 sets of these sweet little ones that were a bargain, or I wouldn't have gotten them. I don't think they were very popular several years ago when I was finding them. This is a new purchase from an antique shop. It's very small. And I don't normally do blue, but Norm had picked out that blue one. He really, really likes these candy boxes when they're very fancy and in good condition. My hallway front entrance floor out here might be creaking as I'm creeping along. Yep, there it goes. This is the newest one, $4. in an antique shop we just went to a couple weeks ago. Here's a very fancy blue one. The foil has a floral pattern on it. Really unique. It's kind of a turquoisey blue in the back, kind of a little more of a purpley blue ribbon, and a regular blue flower, so that's a real variety there. So there are more of the sweet angel cupids. And this many years ago I found in a thrift store. Really cute. I'm not typically into something that would look like Japanese made ornate cupid type things. I don't know why. I don't tend to get like big fancy candle holder things like that with big fancy flowers on them or things like that kind of look. I don't know why. Victorian is what I'm trying to say. But this little guy I thought was adorable because it was a swan. So I've always put him out with a little bit of flowers in. And here's my thrifted lace tablecloth that I cut in half. So I could use the big half out here on the buffet, and I cut out all kinds of little doilies like that size from the other half that I wasn't using. So I ended up with a whole bunch of sweet doilies. On the front door, I found this very sweet plastic canvas hard wall hanging for $2 at Bibles for Missions just last month. Was really tickled to find that. I do love plastic canvas. I know it's a lot of work because I used to make things and love doing it for the family and friends and myself. I picked this crazy card to enlarge because Norm and I love cats. We've had many, but not any right now. It may have been glittery, the original, I don't know, but I found this on the internet. So I just blew it up 13 by 19 for this frame that I change everything out here for the holidays. Love kitty cats. I've had all of these votives for many, many years. Found them at thrift stores again, and the Avon bottles, and that little bud vase. I've had the little rose bouquets, very tiny, for a very long time. It's all one piece, so it's very easy to store and just put them in there quickly for some sweet decor on our front entrance coat rack. And I just found this beautiful silk scarf that I did wash in Woolite, and I pressed it. I think it's really sweet, and I didn't press that one over there. I found that one last year. Needs pressing, but it's lots of big pretty hearts on that one too. So that's what's out here. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of our pretty frilly Valentine candy boxes and milk glass and cupids and lots of roses. It really is a fun month to decorate because it's just so warm and loving, which we really need in this terribly cold month of February. This month in particular has been frigid for the whole country. So please subscribe if you haven't. We would love for you to do that, and also for you to hit the subscribe bell. Hit the bell and choose all for every type of post that I would put out, any kind of notification. If you don't select all, you may not receive a post that I would like to send out sometime soon, maybe asking for your opinions and questions on more things about us. So Norm and I could do a video just talking about us and how we got started collecting and things like that. So it's great for being able to take a survey and just send you greetings now and then instead of putting out a video. So I thank you for doing that.